What's up, everybody? Thanks for watching today, baby. All right, guys, it's been a while since I've made a video, and I've been feeling the calling to make one. So I'm just gonna talk about what's on my mind and what's been on my mind lately. So it's been a while since we've chatted. I did a live stream a little bit ago, just like an unplanned thing, just to kind of touch base with you guys. But I'm kind of frustrated lately with myself and where I've put myself. So I think I'm gonna probably title this video something like Suboxone, one of my life's greatest mysteries or challenges, or something like that, with a question mark. And a lot of times I find myself asking myself that same question. You know, I started this channel, I think it was in 2018, maybe 2018, yeah, right around there, when I was living in Idaho. And I remember how gung-ho I was to taper my Suboxone to be able to jump off of it back then. I've made countless videos about tapering Suboxone, about trying to jump off of Suboxone. I've made videos about when I was successful getting off of Suboxone. I've made videos transitioning when I got back on Suboxone to moving back to Utah, to opening my business, you know, tons of different things. I've shared with you guys many parts of my life as we've gone on through the years, but one thing has remained the same, and that's that I'm still on Suboxone. You'd think that after so many attempts and so many discussions, so many, you know, I've talked to thousands of you guys over the years about Suboxone and your opiate addiction, or my opiate addiction, which was very extensive. You know, I was hooked on painkillers for about 15 years. And that all started from a motorcycle accident, which broke my collarbone. But here we are, you know, that started in my early 20s, and here I am nearly in my mid 40s, and I'm still dealing with the lingering effects of my opiate addiction. You know, in the beginning few years of Suboxone, it was incredible. It was perfect for what I needed at the time. It was the only thing that could get me to stop taking tons of painkillers every day, right? I was spending about $3,000 a month on painkillers on my active addiction, and that is back in 15, 16, 17, when $3,000 a month was actually a lot of money. You know, that was more than double my mortgage, and I had a beautiful, huge home at the time, and I was just blowing through money on painkillers because I could. At the time, I was making really good money. I made, you know, really good money throughout my active addiction years, which is really strange to think about. It's like, how can I make such good money while going through such a strong active addiction? It's kind of weird to me. Most people, they'll lose everything, right? And and then they have to like steal and borrow money from people to keep their addiction going. But for some reason, I think it's just because I was in my 20s and, you know, I really wanted to maintain a certain type of lifestyle. You know, I always worked out throughout my active opiate addiction. I was always in the gym 5 days a week. I've been in the gym 5 days a week this whole time, throughout my Suboxone journey, throughout my opiate addiction journey. That's one thing that I really am proud of, is that I have kept my physique looking pretty dang good over all these years, and it has not been easy to do that. I used to be a really skinny little guy, 130 pounds is all I weighed. And then I've maintained, you know, over 200 pounds these last 20 years, which, like I said, hasn't been easy. That is something that I am proud of. And honestly, that's probably the only thing that's kept me sane to like, you know, you would look at these videos, if you guys have seen me over the years, and you probably don't, you know, I don't feel like I'm very sane when it comes to the totality of the bigger picture of all this stuff. I kind of feel like a crazy person. I'll just be honest with you guys. And I know a lot of that has to do with my, I get on these kicks. I want to get off Suboxone. I'm going to taper Suboxone. I can't tell you how many different times in the last 7 or 8 years I've tapered my Suboxone. I honestly consider myself a professional taperer of Suboxone. That's kind of a stupid thing to say, but I honestly don't think there's anybody that's ever going to watch this video that has more experience tapering Suboxone than me. I know exactly from what dose I'm at, how long it will take me to get to this dose. If I'm taking 6 milligrams a day, I know exactly, almost to the day, how many days it will take me to get down to 2 milligrams. I know how long it'll take me to go from 2 milligrams to 1 milligram. I can almost write that shit down to the T and be to that amount by that date. And that's kind of a goofy thing to be talking about here, but it's the truth. I know Suboxone big time, but the scary thing is that Suboxone knows me better. Suboxone, you could pretty much say that there's many times in my Suboxone career that I feel like I'm Suboxone's little bee, right? I feel that way right now, to be straight up honest with you guys. And I say that because I can't control the dose super strict. There's been plenty of times throughout my Suboxone usage days that I was much better at controlling the dose and maintaining a stable dose. But lately it's not been so good, guys. Like I've been, if you guys seen the live video, I came back on after I started getting withdrawal from the Sublocade wearing out of my system. So I came back on at a really low dose. I think it was 1 or 2 milligrams, and then my dose started creeping up. And my doctor, he was calling me on it too. I got a shout out to him for that. He was like, "Okay, you're at this dose. I'm not going to let you go higher," basically, right? I think that was at like 4 or 6 milligrams. And I was trying to get him let's just go up to 8. Let's just go up to 8. Because I wanted to get some I didn't want to have to worry about running out every month. So I wanted to kind of have that cushion to where I could, have some left over at the end of the month. You guys know how it is. Because you guys remember when I threw all my Suboxone in the fire and burned them all as soon as I got that Sublocade injection. I think that's when I did that. But yeah, guys, I don't know, like Suboxone for me at this point in my life, I just don't understand why I'm still on it. I think a lot of it has to do with the withdrawal that I don't want to go through. I don't want to have to think about going through withdrawal right now. I don't want to have that prolonged depression that lasts for months and months at a time. Like that will cost me my relationship, right? So like, to be honest, if I could take 1 milligram a day, and I know I can get down to 1 milligram, it's just staying at that dose. That's the hard part for me, because my dog's over here goofing off. What are you doing, you little goofy girl? You crazy. Come here, little baby. There's my puppy. She's over here rolling around like a crazy girl. Anyways, so yeah, guys, if I could get down to 1 milligram and just stay there, but the problem is I have more meds than that, right? I have access to way more than that. I could take as much as I wanted. If I wanted to take 16 milligrams tomorrow, I could do it. But I have never gone above, I haven't gone above 8 milligrams since I've got back on it this last time. And I do know that once I go anything over like 3 milligrams, I really start to self-guilt myself. I start to get very unproductive with work, which is not acceptable. Constipation gets really bad. If there was like a perfect dose for me to stay on Suboxone, it's going to be about 1 milligram, 2 at the max. That's like the perfect all-around dose for me to have low side effects, low self-guilt. But like I said, guys, the problem is I can't maintain that for a long period of time at this point in my life. At least I haven't been. I have in the past, but lately I haven't been. I've been unpredictable with my dose, and it like I said, it kind of makes me feel a little bit crazy. So I'm just wanting to share this stuff with you guys. Suboxone, I will say it again, Suboxone did save my life, guys, back in 2017. If I didn't get on Suboxone, I would have still taking painkillers, and fentanyl came to the streets shortly after that. So, you know, fentanyl is still out here killing tons of people in my local community, and I'm sure in your guys' community too. So I'm very thankful for Suboxone on many levels, but also I'm very just overwhelmed and frustrated with it because I haven't been able to put this behind me. You know, like I said, my active addiction ended in 2017. That's a long time ago, guys. The stuff is still affecting me. It's affecting my teeth, as you guys saw. I just lost a tooth back there. So it is having effects on my body. It is having effects on my mind. You know, having to go up and down with the doses, I'm sure I'm not the most pleasant person to be around. So I just wanted to kind of talk to you guys, let you know how I'm feeling about Suboxone lately. It just feels like, you know, Suboxone was a perfect gift at first, but now it's kind of turning into this lifelong curse. And I really don't know what the end game is. I don't have any goals to get off of it anytime soon. You know, I've had people divvy out my medication before in the past. I've gone so far, guys, as to buying one of those timed like lock boxes where it only opens up, you know, whenever you set the time to. And that didn't work out too well. I can't tell you how many different people I have given my meds to and like, hey, you know, I have this amount, I'm gonna come get this amount, you know, and that's worked great. That's maybe great process, like when tapering, that definitely helped a lot. But I'm just like kind of out of people to even bring that up to at this point in my life. I just feel like it's kind of childish that I would need to do that at this point in my life. Why can't I control my own brain to just do that and be responsible and just keep my dose low and just keep it, you know, steady? I just want to feel steady, but for some reason I don't do that and I keep creeping up. So just some frustrations I wanted to vent to you guys. I wanted to hear what you guys think about this. I know a lot of people have came off of Suboxone that watch this channel and they've moved on with their lives, and that's awesome. Super props to you guys that have been able to do that. But then I also know that a lot of you have gotten off of Suboxone and you've circled back around to it. You know, many people, they'll go the kratom route or they'll try the kratom route and then they find that that's not really the best route for them, and then they'll end up back on Suboxone. Or they get off of Suboxone and then they start getting into alcoholism a lot more, right? And they're like, well, what the hell? I would rather probably be taking Suboxone than alcohol. Maybe not everybody, but a lot of people feel that way. And so then they come back to Suboxone. I want to hear from you guys who have gotten off of Suboxone. How are you guys doing? Is your life just super great now? Is it a big difference for you to be off of Suboxone? Like I said, guys, I don't really have any plans to taper myself off of it right now. I don't want to think about withdrawal. I don't want to go through withdrawal. But I do want to stay. I want to find a way, and let me know if you guys have any ideas. I want to find a way for me to get my dose down to about 1 milligram and stay at about 1 milligram. Just a heads up for you where I'm at today. I've been recently tapering, and for the last 2 or 3 days, I'm on 2.5 milligrams. I'm feeling better. The bathroom trips are a lot better now, and I'm feeling pretty good. You know, but I know I'll feel better if I keep tapering and if I get down to about 1 milligram. I think that's my ideal dose if I'm gonna stay on Suboxone for the long haul. It's gonna have minimal side effects. It's damn near dirt cheap to be on this, pretty much free at this point. It's really not costing me, even if I was taking, let's say if I was taking 4 milligrams a day, guys, it's probably costing me $100 or $200 a year to be on Suboxone at this point, because I see my doctor and he takes care of like my testosterone and stuff like that. And so I'm going to see him anyway. So it's not like I'm, you know, I don't have to get counseling. I'm not in the MAT program. I don't get drug tested. They just know that, yo, this mother effer just going to be on Suboxone. I never had a bad drug. What do they call it? Drug screen. I've never once had anything but Suboxone in my system since I started back in 2017. In fact, right now from my dental surgery, I still have, I think, 14 of the 16 Loratab 7.5s, it's not going to do anything for me. So it literally has I have no desire to think about trying to get anything recreational out of those medications, because I know my tolerance is probably higher than that. It's not going to do anything. So it would literally be a total waste to even try to think about taking those. I don't think about it ever. They're just in a box. I have them saved just in case somebody ever needs them for whatever reason. It would be nice to have that available, right? Somebody in my family that might need some pain medication someday. So anyways, guys, let me know what you think about my scenario. If you have any suggestions for me, I know I'm repeating myself now. It's been a while since I've made a Suboxone video, but here it is. This is where I'm at, 2.5 milligrams. Today's April 20th. Sometimes I don't post videos for a while after I make them. But yeah, feeling pretty good on 2.5 milligrams. But not too long ago, I was up to like 6 milligrams, right around there. And I don't want to be that high. I feel like if I'm on higher doses of Suboxone, this might sound a little too woo-woo-y for you guys, but I do feel like it blocks my blessings. It blocks, it does something. And when I start getting down to the lower dose, things in my life start to improve. I don't know why, it's just how it always has been. I don't know if you guys can relate to that, but I've been going to church, I've been praying, getting my girl into going to church. I still really don't feel that deep. I don't feel hardly any connection. Like when I'm praying, I feel like nothing's being heard, but I still keep doing it. I still got to keep that faith, and I just gotta keep going with it. So I hope y'all could send some prayers for me, because I do feel like there's some changes coming to my life, especially with work. There's some big question marks with work. I feel like there's a big block right now with my car dealership. I feel like it's very hard for me to find cars right now, which is very discouraging feeling. I've been looking at other, that means it's time to go. I've been looking at other career paths, thinking about different things that all day long, every day, wasting a bunch of time, just, chasing my head in circles. It's embarrassing to say that at my age. You think I would have my life a bit more stable and figured out, but being a used car business owner, it's not the most stable thing in the world, especially doing it by myself. So yeah, guys, hope you guys are all doing well. Smash the like button if you can, drop a comment, and if you have any questions for me about anything else, feel free to drop it in the comments. I've been pretty good about responding to comments. So yeah, we'll see you guys on the next one. Bye. See ya.